Hello and welcome, guys. India versus Pakistan, Asia Cup. The opener just got over, and what a result for India! India, in a way, have avenged. India versus Pakistan, Asia Cup. India, in a way, have avenged the loss they suffered at the hands of Pakistan at the T20 World Cup, and what a way to finish it off. Hardik Pandya with the six, all-round Hardik Pandya. Remember, 3 wickets while he was bowling, restricted Pakistan for 147, and then with a brilliant cameo. Joining me shortly would be Akash Vishwas and Saikat Ghosh to do a postmortem of India's win. I'll have these guys join in a while, and here we are. Welcome, Akash, and welcome, Saikat.
Hello everyone. Hello guys.
Hi guys.
What a win! What
It
a
was a
win,
great
guys! I
game.
mean,
It was a great game.
yes, something
Yeah,
that we
I hope you
expected.
guys had fun.
Before I start this conversation, there's one little photo that I wanna share with you all and with our viewers as well, and it is this one.
Yeah.
How apt and how ironic. This was tweeted by Rajasthan Royals Twitter handle. 2018 Asia Cup. This was the first time that he got an injured back and he had to be stretchered off. And from there onwards, it was a very painful recovery for him. And it took full circle here. 2022 first game, 3 wickets, bowling his 4 overs and playing that finisher's role to perfection. First thoughts, Saikat, I'll give to you your first thoughts about the game, Hardik Pandya's performance.
Yeah, we were talking about this match in the evening, and Hardik Pandya was someone, obviously, even Sanjay Manjrekar yesterday said that, Hardik Pandya is someone you gotta look after because a sheer reason that he's an all-rounder. He can bat you out of the match, he can bowl you out of the match, and obviously he's a great fielder as well. So your probability of succeeding in a particular match obviously gets a boost. Now, coming back to his talent, the way he played. I mean, first up he bowled, got 3 wickets, and then he came out to bat, almost took the match deep, and even then Mohammad Nawaz got rid of Ravindra Jadeja, and the game was still slipping out of our hands. Where Hardik Pandya just hung in there, kept his calm, and as you showed in this picture, it actually describes the zero to hero moment for Hardik Pandya in 2018 Asia Cup. Here is this guy being stretchered off, and now here is Hardik Pandya bowling so well and batting so well, taking the team to a victory.
Fantastic. I mean, the Akash, I think Saika summed it up really well. But if I have to ask you one question, look, Pandya, the way he bowled, it was not, I mean, short deliveries. 5 wickets fell for short deliveries, 3 of them to Hardik Pandya. Shows that he's a thinking bowler. You know what he does with that, but what he brings to with the ball, that balance, to that Indian team is just look unmatchable in a way.
Exactly. And before I start speaking of Hardik Pandya, I must admit that I'm sitting over here and I can hear the cracker bursting outside. So you can imagine how great the game was. And literally, and one thing I must admit that we have been speaking about Virat Kohli's comeback. Virat Kohli's comeback. मतलब Virat Kohli वापस आ रहा है. He's making a comeback. How will he play? But the show was stolen simply by Hardik Pandya. And somewhere down the line, I also had this, intuition that we all are excited to see how Kohli will bat after this month-long break. But ultimately match winner फिर वही हार्दिक पांड्या निकल के आया. And as you spoke about his bowling, he was yeah, we saw the game that he how he contributed with the ball and with the bat as well, took the game till the last over and then finished with that mighty six. But with the calmness that he was playing today, in fact the third ball that he tried to play down the offside and couldn't get the run, and then he just signaled Dinesh Karthik, who was standing at the other end. He just nodded his head कि मैं संभाल लूंगा. That was a signal. See, I am here. We'll do it.
Yeah, yeah, I
That
mean the confidence, the swagger that
yeah.
is something that we have known of Hardik Pandya right from his Mumbai Indians days, and something that we have seen, and such again, such a happy sight. And you put it really perfectly that all the limelight was on Kohli, Rahul, Rohit Sharma, and whatnot, but Hardik Pandya nobody really talked about. He was a walk into this Indian 11, and you expected like at the start of the match, the talk was all about the huge decision of not picking Rishabh Pant and having DK, Dinesh Karthik as your finisher. But well, Saikat, your proper finisher was Hardik Pandya there.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I just want to, bring this fact to light that कितने ऐसे मैचेस हुए इंडिया के जिसमें रविंद्र जडेजा जिसमें ऋषभ पंत वाज प्रेफर्ड ओवर दिनेश कार्तिक? जीरो मैचेस, ऐसे
Zero.
एक भी मैचेस नहीं हुए, hardly. And here we are. Suddenly we are playing this Asia Cup opener, and suddenly Rohit Sharma tries to experiment with his playing lineup, and he prefers PK over Rishabh Pant. I mean, doesn't happen usually, right?
No, it doesn't happen. I mean, that was also quite baffling for me. I mean, the thought process was something that I couldn't, figure out. But what it did was, in a way, that forced India to have somebody like Ravindra Jadeja bat at number 4, a left-hander. There was just
Exactly.
only one single left-hander in that lineup, and that was Pant or Jadeja in this case. And that really forced Jadeja to come up the order, and that in a way worked out. I mean, his valuable runs was there. He and Pandya really, took the game forward after that. Two wickets to wickets of both Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. And Akash, I mean, good. I don't know. I mean, how do you put it? A master stroke or something that really worked out. I mean, the brainchild of both Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma here that nobody would have expected. To Jadeja to bat at number.
Exactly. After, I mean, the moment Rohit Sharma got out, I was thinking that, as usual, Surya Kumar Yadav will come out to bat at number 4. But after seeing Ravindra Jadeja, my first thought was, "Hai, ये 4 number का batter है." Then the way he took the anchored the innings. I mean, firstly we lost KL Rahul for a duck. और उसके आउट होने के बाद all those memories of last year's World Cup, started revolving around my head. Then Kohli and Rahul maintained. Sorry, Kohli and Rohit. They normalized the things pretty well. And after the departure of our captain Rohit Sharma, when Jadeja came out, he played pretty well, and those small partnerships he formed with either with Surya Kumar Yadav and then with Hardik Pandya. So all those kind of helped India. And since Saka told, sorry, since you said that we were expecting DK to be the finisher, but actually it turned out Hardik Pandya turned out to be a finisher in today's game. We should give credit to DK as well for taking that single and giving strike to Hardik Pandya so that he can hit that six. Because Wasim Akram in commentary was saying that only Pakistan has to do that. They should not. I mean, they should keep Hardik Pandya away from the strike. They should come up with something. But ultimately, the game turned in our favor, and rest is history.
That is true. I mean, I mean, it's about like partnerships. So be it bowlers, be it in the middle, it's about partnerships. And Mohammad Nawaz bowling that 20th over was specifically targeting DK. DK doesn't play spin that well, so Mohammad Nawaz was kept away by Babar Azam till that last over, and it could have worked out if DK was facing the bat. But when it comes to Hardik Pandya, we saw what he can do.
No,
So that was also one of the things that I mean we have to think that in that sense DK Hardik Pandya, I don't know. Yeah, Saikad, you're going ahead and saying something.
Just to take over from what Akash said, there were a couple of experiments in this match. First was obviously the DK thing, and the second being Ravindra Jadeja being sent to bat at number 4. The reason behind it is that Mohammad Nawaz is a left-arm spinner, and you have got a left-arm batter here, so it's always a good matchup to take him on. And that is the reason Babar Azam held Mohammad Nawaz for the last over, because Ravindra Jadeja was batting. He waited for him. Yeah, that is the reason. So I think that ploy really worked. And if you could see the score, he scored 35 runs in 29 balls. So you can't see it's an experiment that really clicked for Rohit Sharma.
That's true.
That's
That's true.
true.
But before we move into the bowling aspect of it, which was equally good, if not better, one final thoughts on Virat Kohli. Personally speaking, he did get the runs, but was not really convincing enough. I mean, again, the limelight was on him. We were thinking, I had my neck out and said that we're gonna see Kohli of the past, but that was not the case. For me, first impression was still not convincing enough for me. But then again, he got the runs. Akash, your thoughts? Brief it could be.
Yeah, what I observed in Virat Kohli's innings, that the break really worked, and the way he was playing, he was, I mean, playing all the shots with authority, and with every shot he hit, there was an expression on his face ki kya bola, out of form ye le. So this kind of expression was on his face. I mean, he hit just 1 6 and 3 boundaries, but all those shots were perfectly timed, and that confidence was reflecting on his face ki yes, today I am getting that rhythm. Though he scored almost run ball 35, he scored 35 odd of 34 deliveries, तो उसको रन बॉल कह सकते हैं, बट द वे ही टुक ऑफ, या फखर जमान ने उसका कैच छोड़ दिया, दैट वाज अ ब्लेसिंग इन डिसगाइज, बट
Yeah.
after that the way he took off, and he backed Rohit Sharma, who wasn't that confident in the starting. So I would say that somewhere that break that he took after the England tour worked for him, and it's just the starting, and it's just the starting of the tournament. And since he had returned now in the action, so I think with coming upcoming games in this Asia Cup, he will return to form more in a better way and score runs.
Saikat, your thoughts on Kohli and what you saw?
As we were doing this pre-match show, and even then I debated you on this thing that this is not Virat Kohli of the old, and I would still stand by it. My reason being, if you could see the first ball he faced, it was an in swinger from Naseem Shah. He left it. The next ball he had an edge, huge edge. It should have been gone. And then also he had some scratchy shots to play with before he actually took advantage of the short bowling. And since it was the power play, he had these fielders inside the circle, so he got those easy boundaries. Now, obviously, coming back to the point that I mentioned in the evening show, Virat Kohli is going to score runs, definitely. But this is not the Virat Kohli of the old. I would stand by it.
That is true. I mean, I'll also stand corrected there. I mean, we may not ever gonna see Virat Kohli of the old, but again, it's good to see he's in the thick of runs, and he is an integral cog in this batting unit. And maybe we'll see him at the T20 World Cup. Moving on, we will get things moving on. It was the bowling. Of course, India bowled first, and Bhuvneshwar Kumar 4 wickets, Hardik Pandya 3 wickets. First up, he had Babar Azam out, and not with that length delivery or something that's a seeming delivery, but it was a bit of a bouncer that got Babar Azam by surprise. But then again, Bhuvneshwar Kumar coming back from injury, I mean, he replaced somebody like a Deepak Chahar, who we all thought was just shoe in for Asia Cups and everything. He got injured. Bhuvneshwar got the opportunity, and just class just shows there. Akash, your thoughts on Bhuvneshwar Kumar and just India's bowling performance in general?
You know what I felt about today's game, that it was overall dominated by bowlers from both the sides, because you see there were not much runs on the board. The target was only 140, 148, right? And the way India started with the ball, like you said, Bhuvneshwar Kumar did a very good job, and then Arshdeep Singh and Avesh Khan, the way they chipped in, given the fact that they were playing their first Asia Cup, and that too against their first game against Pakistan. So they adjusted themselves to the condition very well, and the way they backed Bhuvneshwar Kumar, since he is the leader of this pack. So the way they, I mean, supported him, and then obviously Hardik Pandya playing his cameo with the ball. So overall, it was all the bowlers' game, and moreover, हमारे स्पिनर ज्यादा कुछ कर नहीं पाए, but we still expect many things. I mean, many more to come from Chahal, and if Ashwin gets a game, or if Jadeja gets a wicket in the future games. But yeah, आज जिस तरीके से पेसर्स ने डोमिनेट किया है, दैट वाज अ ट्रीट टू वॉच. एंड ऑब्वियसली पाकिस्तान के बैट्समैन, इफ यू से स्पीक अबाउट बाबर आजम और मोहम्मद रिजवान, it was very good to see them. I mean, our pacers taking them off.
That's true. That's true. I mean, Pacers from both the sides did well. I mean, the conditions also suited them. I mean, the commentary, the cricket experts were saying that there is something for the bowlers there, and that was well exploited by everybody. I mean, Naseem Shah on his debut had a terrific spell. He bowled. Shanawaz Dhani, 140 plus. Even Haris Rauf at his first 2 overs was quite good. Saikath, if I come to you, not in terms of just Bhuvneshwar Kumar, but Hardik Pandya bowling with the new ball. That was something again. I mean, we were discussing a lot about the bowling that aspect never really came up. We were looking at Arshdeep Singh, we were looking at Avesh Khan and see, I mean, who can be the one who's going to partner Bhuvneshwar. But again, Hardik Pandya with the new ball, experienced guy, logical decision. It worked out. It worked out. And even Avesh Khan got a bit of a tap, but he got that lucky wicket of Fakhar Zaman. And coming in as a first change bowler really helped him, settle the young guy's nerves.
IPL 2022 was the game changer for Hardik Pandya. Your question that Hardik Pandya bowling in the power play, this started right in June this year when South Africa came calling to India. And from then on, Hardik Pandya has been bowling constantly in the power play. There is also one pattern that I've figured out, which I've observed in Hardik Pandya, is that he's been bowling obsessively short balls. He's bowling short balls again and again and again, getting it, yet he's bowling there, and you know what? He's getting wickets at the end of the day. So that's what persistence is for Hardik Pandya. And not only is bowling in the power play, but is keeping that short ball barrage, and not getting faded by even if he's not getting the wicket, he knows that I'm going to keep bowling there and I'm going to get the wicket. So that's a newfound Hardik Pandya for him.
That's, I mean, a newfound Hardik Pandya, and such a, we always been talking about Hardik Pandya, the potential that he has and the balance that he brings to this side. And this is the balance he brings. I mean, you can afford to drop somebody like a Rishabh Pant and still, get a very solid team. But to just take away from this game, and what are the takeaways for India, going ahead in the larger context? For me, I really don't think this is probably the best 11 that India played. I still would like to see a Pant in the mix of things. But again, this was something, as Rohit Sharma, hinted during the press conference, that the experiment thing will continue. We all thought that bilaterals are over. It's game time on. But you're still seeing the experimentation, aspect of India still going on, which is, I mean, you can say if it's working, it is good. If it does not work, I mean, it's a slap on your face. But Akash, it's working for them, the experimentation bit. And we saw quite a bit of experimentation in this match as well, despite the fact that it was India-Pakistan Asia Cup first game.
Yeah, you see, Rohit Sharma just dropped the bomb right at the toss by saying that we are, I mean, Pant has to wait and DK is going ahead of him. Even I was getting messages from my friend that why did Rohit make this decision? My first thought was, यार हमारे पास इतने talented players हैं, and at the same time Dinesh Karthik making a comeback at the age of 37. So in सबको accommodate करना, obviously there it is a huge task, right? And since we have thought that the experimentation thing has stopped, but now we can see like getting DK ahead of Pan, and then promoting Ravindra Jadeja at number 4, then giving the new ball to Hardik Pandya. I think all these things, I mean, indicates that the team management has made their mind. Like we'll keep on. And we keep on following the hit and trial method until and unless we find the perfect combination of players, a perfect combination before boarding the flight to Australia. And I mean, I think it's a good idea to go with, because when all the members of the team are on the same page, then there is nothing wrong in doing that. And if it's working, then it's great. Like we saw today in today's game, it worked, and it worked very well, because ultimately whatever decision you make or whatever changes you make to the 11, ultimately it's upon the individual performances that keeps adding to the final result. So that happened today, and since we are going to face Hong Kong in the next game, if I'm not wrong, then we might see Ravi Vishnu even coming up. Coming into the 11, or some changes in the playing 11. So experimentation, मुझे लगता है कि आने वाले मैचेस में होता आएगा unless and until we are in the knockout stages.
That's true. I mean, next game is Hong Kong, and after that they will be through to the Super Fours. And next Sunday it's going to be potentially India Pakistan round two. Saikat, my question to you is on similar lines. Do you think India is taking Asia Cup that way that it's only Pakistan and they can be they can afford to make or do these kind of experimentations, or do you think DK is probably going to be the first choice? The reason why I ask you is that you have a certain Rahul Dravid also in that setup. Pant was back in the Ravi Shastri Kohli era. You have the Rohit Rahul Dravid era, and a very interesting trivia. Way back in 2005, Rahul Dravid played with Dinesh Karthik. That's how old Karthik is. But I mean, do you see there is a shift in mindset, or you think India just were uber confident going into this game that they are the best team by a country mile and they can afford to do these kind of experimentations?
You know what? When Rohit Sharma traveled to West Indies for this T20 series, the first press conference that he gave, he clearly told the fans that, we're going to lose because we're going to go for experimentation. Personally, I never thought that experimentation would extend to the Asia Cup. So that's why when I saw DK coming in, I was really shocked. It's my personal opinion, but yeah, that's how it was. So it clearly sends a message that Team India is going to experiment in Asia Cup, and who knows, they're going to experiment in the next 6 games, which are going to happen against Australia and South Africa, before they really travel to Australia and play. We know what kind of casual, laid-back attitude Rohit Sharma has, and he doesn't believe in all these sort of things that I need to have a pattern or I need to have a playing 11 ready because it's a big tournament. He is not that conventional thinker. So if you ask him, he would still say, you know what, I still have got games and I'm going to experiment because we have got lots of players. Now, the answer to your question is, will the experimentation go on? Yes, definitely they will go on. And as Akash said, we are playing Hong Kong next. So I'm pretty sure, if you ask me, what change should India make? I would say bring in Deepak Hooda for Virat Kohli.
That's quite interesting. Bring in Deepak Hooda in place of Virat Kohli. And talking about Virat Kohli, one of our Facebook viewers have put out a statement. It's like Virat Kohli era has come to an end. India needs to do away with sentimentalism with regard to Kohli. Something very close to what Saikat was saying. But yeah, honestly speaking, it's too much to go down that line. But Virat Kohli, as I said, looked quite okay, not that convincing enough. But again, he has still a few more games in his hand. Potentially, he'll play the Hong Kong game. He'll again play the Pakistan game, and he'll play the other two teams in the other group which qualify for the Super Four. So he potentially has enough games to showcase what he can in terms of getting back to form. For now, this is all we have in terms of discussion, post-match analysis of India versus Pakistan. As we said, as we started at the top of the show, Hardik Pandya was the star performer, both with the bat and with the ball, 3 wickets and match-winning cameo. Bhuvneshwar Kumar again started with the bat with 4 wickets. KL Rahul flopped the first T20 game that he was playing this year. So in insiders, Naseem Shah really can't fault him for that, or really read too much into that. But hopefully he gets back to form. Rohit Sharma was patchy. Virat Kohli got a few runs. Ravindra Jadeja at the top of the order. Quite a lot of positives for India, and because it was Pakistan game, I mean, it's something that would excite most of the Indian fans. The next game, it would be Hong Kong, then Pakistan. Will be back reviewing most likely the Pakistan game, that is a Super 4 game. I hope you enjoyed our discussion here. Thank you very much, Saikat and Akash, for your valuable inputs. We hope that you guys are back, and we three are back again and discussing India Pakistan once again in a week's time. Till then, we take leave, and again, as I said, hope you liked our conversation, and if you want to see and follow more engaging content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Cricket Next. Please follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. And we have some fantastic writers, including Saikat, Akash, doing a fantastic job on our website as well. So do give a follow there as well. So till then, it's goodbye from us, and we'll catch you later next week.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.